He remembered going down to bus with his mother after his father's died. His mother do not have any choice but to leave the city and live in her hometown. A small, sun-dappled village surrounded by hills and trees, they decided to stay and settled in the old house. His name is Ethan, and his mother, Mercy. Mercy had raised Ethan alone after his father passed away when he was just in grade school. She worked tirelessly as a seamstress and doing some household works, her hands worn but gentle, her eyes always carrying a spark of warmth even in the darkest times. As Ethan grew, he became restless. The simplicity of village life frustrated him. He became ambitious, and he began to see his mother's advice as nothing more than nagging. "Ethan, study hard. It will open doors for you. Education is your foundation," she would often say. But Ethan shrugged it off. He found solace and happiness in his friends, who roamed the village aimlessly, seeking thrills in mischief and rebellion. Ethan started to smoke and drink with his friends. Mercy's warnings became more frequent as Ethan's behavior grew reckless. "Ethan, be mindful of your company. Not everyone who smiles at you is a friend." But Ethan dismissed her with a roll of his eyes. "You're always worrying, Mother. Let me live my life. I'm old already." Years passed, and Ethan's defiance deepened. He stopped coming home for dinner, stopped helping with the household chores, and stopped listening to his mother's pleas. Despite her growing frailty, Mercy continued to care for him, leaving his favorite meals on the table and keeping a lamp lit for him at night. But Ethan's heart was hardened by pride and frustration. One morning, Ethan left home and went to the city, urged on by his friends' promises that money and riches could be found there. He stopped going to school. He started to work and gamble, but his bad habits of fighting while drunk eventually led him to jail. Without friends supporting him and left alone, he is alone and no one helping him. Terrified and sad inside the jail. No one visit him, not friends to check on him in the jail. He felt so alone. After 2 years, Ethan realized that his mother had no idea what had become of him since he left home without saying a word. He reminisced about the happy memories they had when he was still young. His mother is so kind and loving. She sacrifices leaving in the city for his own sake. She also sacrificed a lot for him just to give him a decent education, but eventually he left her. He decided to return, feeling the weight of the time lost. He decided to change and stay in the valley with her mother. He wants to be simple yet away from troubles. He wants to stay with his mother and make up to her for the time past. At his surprise, he saw some people in the house, and he found out that it was too late for him to meet his mother. He cried so hard when he saw his mother laying in the coffin, lifeless. At her funeral, Ethan stood before the small gathering of villagers. "My mother was the most selfless person I've ever known," he said, his voice shaking. "She gave everything for me, and I repaid her with neglect and anger. I only see it now when it's too late." In the days that followed, Ethan discovered letters his mother had written but never sent. Each one was filled with words of love, hope, and concern for his future. Grief overwhelmed him. He remembered every harsh word, every moment of defiance, and every opportunity he had wasted to show his mother love. The weight of regret was unbearable. Though he could never undo his mistakes, he resolved to honor her by living a life she would have been proud of. But no matter how much he changed, the echo of her absence was a constant reminder. Some lessons come too late, and some debts can never be repaid.